If I was born a conjurer, I think I would simply not bother learning then. Hello and welcome back to Sug War Central. Gang, it's been a crazy, awesome, fun 2 weeks. Oh, right, for you guys this is probably coming out mid-May, but I'm recording this on February 28th. Just kidding, actually March 25th, because the audio got fucked up the first time. Originally I was recording this on the last day of my 2-week break from nursing school. But this could be the last chance I have to work on a video for a few months. Oh my god, yeah, I'm just reading the old script. That turned out to be a fucking lie. I do stuff. Anyway, I was, at the time, really sad. So I wanted to do something fun and lighthearted, especially after my last video. Something lighthearted like talking about exactly what Nen affinities I think are the best and worst to have. So without further ado, let's get started. Conjurers, I think, have to be the most miserable Nen affinity to be. Not only do I not want to be a conjurer, I don't want to use any conjuration in my abilities whatsoever. Conjuration sucks. It requires the most thought put into it, and generally has the least flexibility. First of all, let's talk about the abilities themselves. By and large, they are not fun to use. Conjurers have to think extremely carefully about what they actually want to conjure, and if they make a bad decision, that's a massive time commitment for an ability that's much more difficult to modify and improve than an emitter ability, for instance, would be. And generally, you're kind of stuck with an object that has a very limited range of function. I mean, look at all the fun stuff that people like Hisoka, Palm, Moro, Melody, and Terra Sandwich get to do, and tell me you'd rather be the girl with the vacuum cleaner or the granny who turns herself into a motorcycle. Yes, there are exceptions to this rule. I think most clearly Henry Biggin Duffno, who is honestly single-handedly carrying the entire affinity of conjuration on his shoulders, but the proportion of miserable abilities to fun ones is way higher than with the other Nen affinities. I mean, not even conjurers like conjuration. Look how Kite's always complaining about his own ability, and Genthru created a Nen ability of a whole other type just because no one wants to fight with conjuration. The worst part is, conjuration is so decidedly lame compared to other Nen affinities that you can have a frankly absurd level of talent. Like you can be more skilled at Nen than Krollo, and still have a dog shit ability. Don't believe me? Well, this is actually canon. Thanks to Togashi's Hunter x Hunter exhibition at the Roppongi Hills Tower, which gave us this cool information about Nen leans and such, we have it confirmed that Abengane has mastered conjuration to the highest degree. See, Nen users on this chart were given skill levels, being skillful, excellent, natural, and extreme. Krollo is listed as a natural, and Abengane is listed as extremely skilled. So yes, Abengane is more skilled at Nen than Krollo, and his ability sucks. He exorcise curses, does a whole ritual about it, and he's still stuck with these insufferable creatures until the curse condition is lifted, and for some curses, like, that could be actually forever. How the fuck is he gonna get rid of Judgment Chain, for instance? His ability is garbage. Like, seriously? This is peak conjurer? Yeah, no thanks. And you know what the piss icing on this shit sundae is? Training for conjuration abilities has gotta be the most abysmal dog water imaginable. The thing you want to conjure, you have to live and breathe it. You need to feel and memorize its sensation, its sounds. You need to draw the thing perfectly thousands of times. You need to have dreams about it. You need to lick it. You need to be so obsessed with this object, you straight up start hallucinating it. That's how you know you're close to succeeding. Oh hell no, man. That sounds like absolutely horrific, abysmal dog shit. Like straight up. I would be miserable too if I went through all that just to have a mid-ass ability nobody even really wants anyway. I mean, Kurapika's dowsing chain is pretty sweet, I'd like that, but let's be real, I wouldn't be Kurapika and neither would you. Most conjuration abilities are just not worth it, man. Honestly, you know what? If I were a conjurer, I can think of 2 things I would do. Firstly, I would just use it to make myself slightly more attractive and young looking. Emphasis on slightly, I'm already pretty darn cute, but like, that seems both low effort and rewarding enough to be worth it. Hey, if Curtin can turn himself into a goddamn boat, if Bisky can make herself look like that, I can make myself young and hot forever, shut up. And secondly, I'd use it to conjure ordinary medical supplies with 0 supernatural abilities. Why, you ask? Conjured objects, logically, have to be sterile. One of the greatest causes of death in Australian hospitals is hospital-acquired infections, because keeping things sterile is a genuine nightmare, and every human makes mistakes, especially when rushing to deliver life-saving treatments to a patient who's gonna die if you take too much longer. So yeah, I guess as a conjurer, I'd be a fantastic nurse. Next up, I'm gonna say enhancement. And yeah, enhancement's alright, but its most popular applications are like making yourself mad strong. I'd honestly prefer this to conjuration, so that even if my ability's boring, I can at least physically be a beast, but also, I think enhancement does have some more versatile and convenient applications than conjuration if I can actually figure out how to use them, because I don't know how good at this I would be. Who knows? Maybe I would be the next Castro, maybe I'd be shit at this. But take Dogman's ability, for instance. There's all sorts of stuff you could do with that concept of enhancing senses. Smell the emotions on people so you can tell who's lying or how they feel about you. Enhance your hearing to become Timu Melody. Enhance your eyesight to pick out tiny details from hundreds of meters away. Enhance your sense of touch to immediately determine all sorts of information about something just by brushing your fingers against it. Or, honestly, enhance your sense of taste so that good food tastes even better. I'd genuinely take that one over 90% of conjuration abilities. Also, enhancement training, and honestly every kind of training that we know of, is way simpler, more straightforward, and less sanity draining than conjuration training. Yes, even transmutation training isn't that bad, although it's about halfway there. Speaking of transmutation, that's my next choice. Yeah, on the face of it, transmutation doesn't seem as naturally applicable, but I do think it's got some serious untapped potential. I mean, look at Bisky's ability. I don't want the conjured masseuse, thanks, but the main crux of it is that miraculous lotion that conveys the same benefits as 8 hours of sleep, and I could find other conditions besides conjuring some weird-ass masseuse. Machi and Hisoka also have very cool and versatile abilities. Bungee gum especially looks like so much damn fun. I mean, you could be Spider-Man, basically, provided you don't dislocate your shoulders. And honestly, even Killua and Phaeton's abilities look sick as hell. I don't have any aspirations to like create an explosion the size of a small football field the way Phaeton does, but that's with heavy restrictions on his ability. I'd love to be able to transmute heat on a much smaller scale, just to warm up my food, keep me cozy on a chilly night, function as a lighter, and turn any bath into a sauna with the power of my aura, yada yada. But you know what's really calling my name? Machi's ability. All that stuff I said about conjuring sterile medical supplies, yeah, that goes double for this one. I can perform perfectly sterile wound care with supernatural healing, and even better than all that, it's actually fun to use outside my job. Machi's threads have all sorts of applications, and most of them look really fun. Of course, there is the conversation of the training, and yeah, it would drive me a little crazy, but I truly don't think it'd be as bad as conjuration. Also, when it comes to learning to transmute stuff like fire or electricity, I mean, you guys know I'm a freak, right? I'd be more than happy to spend a few months putting out matches on my skin if it means I get to warm up any pool to the exact temperature I want it. Next up is manipulation. Now I know a whole bunch of you are judging me through the screen right now, but come on, be real. So many of life's problems are caused by other people, and it's not like they're causing you these problems because they have to for their own survival. A lot of them are just assholes. Manipulation is very versatile, and it's not like just straight up mind control. It also lets you perform short-term memory revisions or subtly influence decision-making without stripping the target of autonomy, and that's the type of manipulation I'm interested in. If I was a manipulator, I could get people to just leave me alone when I'm not in the mood to be disturbed. If it's been a tough month and I'm short on money, well, maybe my landlord just forgets to charge me for rent. If I see someone being a dick to their child, maybe I can just subtly influence them to be nicer. Yeah, manipulation sounds nice, but here's why it's not higher. I think that kind of power in my hands would really corrupt me, and it would be a struggle to, not be evil. It would start slow at first, an ability that makes people make slightly better choices. I mean, that could escalate. It really bothers me when I see my friends drinking soda and energy drinks, for instance, and I would absolutely consider that harming themselves. So what if I just controlled them not to do that? Oh, they're staying up way too late and coming to work exhausted. Why don't I fix that for them? Oh, they watch this show I think is slop that rots your brain. Well, that's not good for them. Let's make them watch a real piece of art like Chainsaw Man. Oh my god, this part of the script did not age well. Jesus Christ. oh my fucking god. I guess Kagurabachi. Fuck. So on and so forth. Each step a little further than the last, until I'm no better than Makima Chainsaw Man. God, I just want to forget. And yeah, I want to not have to constantly wrestle with my darkest urges, so manipulation is only my third choice. My second choice is specialization. Crazy, right? Seems like an easy first choice. I mean, you can do anything. But that's the problem. With specialization, you can totally get analysis paralysis. And it's true that if you have a clearer vision for what you want, specialization is the best Nen affinity, no question, because it gives you the most freedom as to how to achieve that vision. But what if you don't? I sure don't. Often, category limitations don't just hurt people by restricting them, they help them narrow down their ideas. If you have 10 different ideas for a Nen ability, you usually have to ask yourself, which ones are actually attainable with my Nen affinity? But specialization sidesteps that, and I do think I need that kind of artificially induced focus. I mean, I have ADHD and a disorder that gives me insane mood swings where it's like I'm totally different people depending on when you talk to me. You seriously think I could commit to a significant vision like that without some constraints? No way, man. So yes, suffering from success, I know, but I think unless I really locked in, as a specialist, I run a serious risk of ending up like Neferpito. Pito was powerful, yes, but underwhelming compared to the other royal guards. If you ask me, that's why Gon and Killua were assigned to Pito in the palace invasion, by the way. Poof and Yuppie had consistent kits and the right mindsets to use them, and were overall powerhouses, but Pito just kind of screwed around with Nen. The result was a scattershot of abilities that didn't synergize well with each other at all, and weren't even that impressive compared to what the royal guards can do. I mean, it took Pito 3 hours and forced Zetsu to do what Machi did in like a minute. And that's with the potential of a royal guard at their disposal. As a normal human specialist, I would have all of Pito's flaws but to a much greater degree and with none of their redeeming qualities. So yeah, like I said, suffering from success, and maybe it is a problem I could overcome, but it's genuinely not my first choice. I think specialization might actually make me a worse Nen user. And that's why my number one is emission. Yes, I would choose to be an emitter over any other Nen affinity. The reason is pretty simple. I want to teleport. Seriously, if Fugetsu can teleport all the way to tier 3 of the Black Whale, I can teleport from my house to my job, especially if I set some conditions. It'd probably be less distance too. The Black Whale is unfathomably massive. I wouldn't need a car if I was an emitter, just a bathroom stall. Speaking of bathroom stalls, that was a Nen space. Dude, if I could make a Nen space, I could just live in my own Nen ability like what Nove has going on. No more paying rent, ever. And I could make my place look exactly how I want it to, even if there's no apartments like that where I want to live. Honestly, on that virtue alone, emission is far and away the best Nen affinity aside from specialization. With that being said, I'm gonna go take a rest. It's really funny actually. I originally recorded this right after my break and working really hard for 2 weeks straight on YouTube videos, and now I'm recording it a second time to fix the sound quality right after one of the most brutal exams I've ever taken. God, pathophysiology is a pain in the ass, but I did pass, I'm pretty sure, so yeah. Anyway, with that being said, I already read that, whatever. I hope I can return to making videos consistently soon. We'll see about that. Things are about to get busy. I am going to take a trip up to Sydney for my week off, so that's gonna be delightful. But yeah, thank you to everybody who's been watching. I love you all, and I hope you have a wonderful day.